Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let us all remain standing for the national anthem, the East African anthem, and the KCA anthem.
The national anthem, the East African anthem, and the university anthem.
E Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, akiwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. E Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Oh, we the KCA University, we are the true leaders of today. Oh, we the KCA University, we are the true leaders of today. We are on the highway to success, together as one great family, bonded by our goals, advancing in knowledge, driving change. Oh God, help us.
Thank you so much. And as we remain standing for a word of prayer from our brother Elijah.
Okay, let us pray. Tuombe. Everlasting Master, in the name of Jesus, you are our God and there is no one like you. We want to thank you for this day. We want to thank you for the programs ahead of us. We pray, King of Glory, that your presence is going to prevail. We pray, King of Glory, that your wisdom is going to prevail. We pray for the spirit of wisdom and understanding. We thank you, we bless you. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Amen. Now we can take our seats, and Principal, you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Tom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. We want to thank God for this wonderful opportunity, and to our Vice Chancellor and CEO, our Captain, we are humbled to have you today, together with a team of guests whom you are going to introduce to us in a short while. And we really, indeed, as Western Campus, are very glad. I will want to walk us through briefly how our day is going to look like. And for our viewers who are following us live or online or virtually, whatever you like, we wish to welcome you officially for this function and this ceremony, which is an official function of the university. We are going to get a brief shortly, but today is the launch of a new division in the university, which is research, innovation, and outreach. And for that, we want to thank you, Captain, once again, for choosing our campus to play the host to this wonderful and auspicious occasion. Now, that said, allow me to just quickly introduce my team. We'll do a quick round of introduction, and I want to request the Western Campus team kindly just to be upstanding. This is a team of staff and faculty who have been really very dedicated and have been part of this organization. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a team that we have. We can remain seated. Thank you very much for that. I also just want to, at this point in time, indicate that we have a team, our crew from Ruaraka, led by our very able corporate affairs manager, Zedi Sambu. Zedi is over there. Zedi, kindly just wave. Thank you, Zedi. We celebrate you. Let's give her a round of applause. And we also have Ngobia, who accompanied Zedi and is doing a great job. He's behind camera. And a team of our students who are taking film technology from Ruaraka. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. That said, Dean, if you allow me to, at this point, just invite you, and before I do, I wish to introduce my deputy, Douglas Nyakundi. Nyakundi, where are you? Could you just step forward? So Douglas, CPA Douglas Nyakundi is the deputy principal, Western Campus. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. I'm Roger Sabongo, the principal, Western Campus. We have a team from Rio, and our guests whom we have been working with very closely since yesterday. And I think I will allow the dean to be able to introduce the rest except the professors in the room, who then she will be able to introduce, will be able to be introduced by our DVC. Over to you. Allow me to invite the Dean Rio, the first one. She's going down the history, and Prof, without prejudice, being a lady, and she's a capable lady. I've worked with her, and I can assure you, the team of disciples you assembled at Rio, from what the conversations that were going on here yesterday, I can assure you that you never went wrong. And we are going to see Rio is going to be a very big thing. Together with me, let us put our hands together to welcome Dr. Christine Nanjala, the Dean Rio. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Bwana Rogers, for those good compliments. Good morning, everyone, and all protocols observed. Here today, we have the team that will be working in the Rio division, and I will allow them to introduce themselves so that everyone gets to know their faces. So I'll start from here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Edward Owino. I am a member of the Rio team. Rio means research, innovation, and outreach. My research areas of interest is service marketing, and I'm pleased to be in Kisumu today. Thank you very much.
Good morning, all protocols observed. My name is Joshua Nyangidi. Currently, Manager Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. My area of interest is entrepreneurship education.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Abraham Rotich. I'm the Acting Director for Innovation, Incubation, and Linkages. My areas of research is SME development and entrepreneurship.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Mnene Leiboni. My area of interest or research, for that matter, is finance, econometrics, statistics, and actuarial science. And I'm the acting director for research, support, and dissemination. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, my name is Dr. Christine Nanjala Simiyu. I'm currently the first acting dean for research, innovation, and outreach. My area of interest, I'm an economist and statistician, and currently I'm interested in behavioral economics. I'm working on a project with a team that is coming up with an app. It's being developed by students on how to give you information about employment opportunities. So we want to assess the impact of this application on employment outcomes. So if we reach out on you to participate in this project, kindly, just feel honored. So this is the team, Bwana Rogers. So I give it back to you to go on.
Thank you very much. Can we give Daktari and her team a round of applause? Thank you very much indeed. We celebrate you. And a lot about research was being done. It's important to know also my area of interest is IT security and audit. So that's the language you will be hearing a lot from this side of the table, which will go down. At this point in time, without much ado, we want to do, the bosses did a little jig. For now, we want, Prof talked about some activity after taking a meal, Prof Onywera, and we want to ensure that nobody begins to pray for the guests here. It is early morning. So at that point, I want to invite our team of entertainers to come and give us a piece that can generate some heat in the morning as we move to the next level of the program. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. I think I've discovered people's talents. Yeah, the captain keeps talking about where your talent is. Huh? I have learned he has a great talent in dancing. Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, and you know, Professor Onywera was right in it. You know, this was, and Prof. Bagakas, by the way, I don't want to say the other thing you do, because they may call a church board meeting. Huh? but really, I think we've enjoyed the jig, and the dean really was at it. So thank you very much. One more time, let's give them a round of applause. And thank you for warming the morning. At this point, allow me to now invite the dean. Yesterday, there were serious deliberations. And right from morning, it was very robust, I can assure you. I did a lot of learning. I think my notebook was full. Prof, I don't know whether that is a sign of a good student or one who need a lot of reference. But I can assure you a lot of learning took place, and my colleagues from Rio who are part of it really can confirm. Now, we want to hear lessons learned, because the kind of professors we had in the room, I don't think that we would have gotten a better deal than what we got yesterday. And research really has taken off, I can say, with a lot of authority. So we will get about lessons learned. We'll also get about the gaps that need to be filled, and then the way forward for Rio. And there is nobody else who is better placed other than
of the Research, Innovation, and Outreach Department. So today we just want to recap on what we discussed yesterday, the lessons we have learned, the gaps we have identified that we need to fill in, and the way forward. So I'll do a brief presentation on the same. Sorry, it's being set up. So as I've mentioned, this just a recap on the Research, Innovation, and Outreach workshop we had yesterday, the lessons we learned, the gaps we identified in our department, division, and the possible way forward. They're not comprehensive, but it is something we are going to build on. So we had 3 areas we discussed. So there are 3 topics we covered. We focused on benchmarking, what the Division of Research, Innovation, and Outreach looks like in selected private and public universities in the country, the region, and across the globe. How do they do the administration and the management? We also focused on the research, innovation, and outreach infrastructure. What do we need to operationalize this department and the possible partnerships? Then we focused on the grants writing. It's a big thing in research, innovation and outreach. What are the trends? What market is out for us? Then the opportunities we can grab. So we'll start with the first topic, that was the administration and management. The lessons we learned are about 5. From the benchmarking, we realized that most universities, whether within or without this country, they have the Research, Innovation, and Outreach Department. And it is headed by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, and it has essential staff who support the whole process. Then they also have interactive web pages that support the research, innovation, and outreach among faculty, students, alumni, and of course the outside world. They have relevant directorates and centers focusing on research, innovation, and outreach. They have very robust policies and guidelines that support research, innovation, and outreach. They have a very rich libraries with journals and books, which of course research is about having an idea and you put it down. So you need to read some journals and books for you to support the idea you have. So we identified, the gaps we identified, kindly next slide. We have these gaps. In the research, innovation, and outreach we are trying to operationalize, we realize that we do not yet have an interactive web page where we can tell the whole world that this is what we are doing. We do not have yet robust research and innovation policies. We have started developing them, but they are not yet fully done. So there is no information out there on the research, innovation, and outreach division setup. But at least today we are doing the launch, which everyone is watching us. So that is the beginning of giving out the information that we have a robust division that will advance the research, innovation, and outreach agenda at KCA University. In the workshop yesterday, we had only the deans and directors who were identified, but there's no essential administration staff who is working with us to understand the whole process of research administration. We have a very rich library. It is upon us to leverage, to support the research. So that's not a gap, that's a strength. So we just want to make sure that this rich library will support our research agenda. So what is the way forward on this topic? We need robust policies. So that's going to be our first priority area that will support administration and management of research and innovation and outreach. We are going to develop an interactive web page. Starting Monday, we promise that there will be something on our web page that's going to talk about research, innovation, and outreach at KCA University. We also need to activate or catalyze existing research, innovation, and outreach directorates. That means operationalizing them and they start functioning. So that's what we need to do. And then we make the library integral part of the research ecosystem. So starting very soon, you realize that we are going to identify for you the relevant journals that can support your research idea development. And we can go to the library on this page, in this database, you'll get this paper. So that was about the first topic. The second topic we learned was about research, innovation, infrastructure, and partnerships. Research, we need collaborations, we need partnerships. Within and outside the countries. So the lessons we learned on this topic are as follows. The research, innovation, and outreach structure that the University Council has put forth is headed by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, then the Dean. The Dean reports to the DVC, then the directorates. Currently there are 2, the Directorate of Research Support and Dissemination, and the Directorate of Incubation, Innovations, and Linkages. So this is the current structure that is in place. It is the perfect structure. So I think there was a lot of benchmarking and a lot of discussions that went into putting this structure. The reason is it will be efficient structure. It will reduce administration burdens. If you're writing a proposal, you don't need to walk across the corridor looking for a simple thing like letter of support so that you submit your proposal. Our office will do that for you. So that administration burden will not be there for you. Then we are going to have a database that will have all the opportunities available. And of course, if we are going to come up with relevant data sets that you can leverage to actually write a very good problem statement for your research proposal. So if you want any information about KCA, we are going to come up with that database. Then, of course, it has very good internal control system for accountability. So those are the lessons we learned about the structure. So what are the gaps do we have? The first gap we have is we are here talking about research. But I'm sure there's someone in this room who is thinking I'm missing a class. So Rogers would ask me, where were you? But fortunately, he's here with you. So our attitude has always been teaching. Teach from morning to evening. So we still don't have that research culture. It's very low. So I think what we need to do is change the mindset. So we are going to have an enabling environment that can support the attitude change from teaching to research. Then we are going to have deliberate efforts. Currently, there is no deliberate efforts that is done on research champions. We learned or we were advised that if you have research champions, the ideas don't come from heaven, it comes from people. And these people are students and faculty. So if we need to know who is championing what, the research in environment, climate change. So we are going to come up with research champions who advance ideas, then we write proposals and administer. Then we also realize that there's little efforts that goes into formation of collaborations and partnership. Out here, people make intended efforts to come up with collaborations and partnerships. We have none going on at the moment. Then we realized that we're having this nice workshop and research has support systems and administration, but there's no administrative staff being oriented just from initiation up to the end of making this a great division. So what is the way forward? So the way forward is this. As I mentioned, we are going to make deliberate efforts of coming up with research themes which are championed by research champions. So in this town, we are coming up with the research themes, and we shall call upon you to be the research champion. We send a lot of proposals to you. It's up to you to form the team and champion that idea. Then we're also going to have deliberate efforts to advance research culture. We're going to use several methods. One of them is in the performance evaluation system. We are going to ask you to write a proposal, just one for a whole year. And then, of course, there are incentives for that. And then, of course, we are going to come up with a newsletter, which will give us information on regular basis on what's going on in the department. Then we are going to involve everyone. This is just a department. The 3 or 5 of us in here, we are just administrators. But the division is owned by everyone. So we are going to have deliberate efforts for everyone to create partnerships. And we were told that it can take 5 years. You don't have to have a partnership and it works right away. You start talking to that person, you have friendship, they invite you to Germany, you go have coffee, come back. Then one day something comes up, then you have a deal. So we're going to have those deliberate efforts that everyone will form partnerships we can leverage on to advance the research idea. Then, of course, we are going to have to recruit dedicated staff. Research is not something you read one page, you take a pen, and you go to class, you start teaching. You have to be dedicated. writing a research grant proposal, sometimes you can be awake the whole day and the whole night. So that's the underlining word is dedicated staff for this vision. So that was about the second topic we learned. The third topic was about the best practices in grant writing, market trends, and opportunities available. So the lessons learned are this. I've mentioned about proposal writing. I've participated in several grant writing proposals. And for sure, every proposal has its own way of writing. So let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, nobody will teach you how to write a proposal. You'll teach yourself. So there is no template. And the good thing is, if you do it today, you do it tomorrow, third, fourth, the fifth time, it will be a very easy thing. So the more you write, the more you perfect the skill. So there is no template for someone training you to write a grant. Every grant has its own specifications. So it's up to you to study the grant and write it. Then the rejection rates are very high. You can write 5 grant proposals in a year, but you succeed in none. It doesn't mean that your idea is not good. It just means that probably you need to improve with time. Create right partnerships. Then something will work out with you. Then number 4 is the one I didn't know. Thank you, Professor Ngetich. You see, like when you are forming teams for writing the grants, you have to identify one person known as a PI. So how do you identify the person to lead the team? There's something we call the theory of change. A theory of change, in my understanding, is you have to have inputs. Then these inputs will change something to give you the intended output. So that output is what we call the outcome or impact. The person who can describe that link from how you plant the maize, the rain falls, something works, it germinates, it grows, it gives you productivity. And this productivity can be measured. So the person who can describe that link in Vizuri is the person who will be the PI. So that was a great lesson. Then there are so many available opportunities for grants out here. So we were given a lot of database, which we shall share with you. So what is the way forward? Not the way forward. The gap identified are this. Number 1, our capacity. So we have not been writing this grant proposal, so we still need to learn. We have some distance to travel. Like Prof said, the deepest part of the sea is 11 kilometers deep. If you know 11 kilometers, it's a long distance. And we have only covered 12 meters. So how much distance are we still to cover? You can calculate in your head. So that comes with capacity. So the capacity, as we have already mentioned, we don't need to train. Nobody can train you to write the grant. You train yourself. And when you do it more and more, the capacity goes up. Then we are going to, we don't have currently an institutional grant. Institutional grant is having like 2 million, which can support someone to run a seed grant to have a pilot study or even use it to collect your data for PhD. So this is something we currently do not have. So we have no budget for that, and then there is no information on how to source for grants and possible collaborations. So what are the way forwards? So these are the suggested way forwards. We're going to have a deliberate real budget so that we can have all these issues we are talking about operationalized. Then we are going to institute an institutional based grants. So this is to support the development of research culture. If you write a grant, we vet it. A grant proposal, we vet it, then you will be financed to do maybe like a seed grant, which you can use to build your research culture. Then we are going to look for all possible calls and respond more to build capacity in the research culture. So as I've mentioned, even in Kisumu, we are going to have research champions. So if you are called upon, this is the call that's out here, can you guys regroup and write some grants so that we leverage on it? So that's something we need to do. So finally, what are the general way forwards? So from here, to fully operationalize this division that's being launched today, we are going to have a work plan with clear timelines to work on the gaps identified. Then we shall start with the priority areas, and we have mentioned that administration of the research division, you must have robust policies. So we are going to develop the policies, and with the help of ZD, we are going to come up with a web page. We are already in discussion on how it should look like. Then we are going to start to set up an enabling environment to build the research culture. So there's going to be an institutional research grant. So it's up to you to know that is there. You write a grant and you can be financed. Then we are going to build capacity to do research amongst faculty, students, and alumni. So we are going to work through the research champions. So that's what we learned. It was enriching, and for sure, I should say it again. Thank you, Professor Nywera and Professor Ngetich, for all walking us through this journey. Thank you very much. Back to you, Rod.
Thank you. Can we put our hands together for the Dean, Dr. Nanjala? Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that was a wonderful, wonderful overview. And everybody has a glimpse of how the day was yesterday. And I think my colleagues here can actually attest to that fact, that really you can clearly see that the division already has clarity of mind on issues, research, innovation, and outreach. And I think a great support system has ideally been there. At this point in time, I want to move the program to the next level. And this I will do by inviting my supervisor, my boss, my friend, Professor Joshua Gisemba Bagakas, who is going to talk to us briefly and invite the team of professors that were manning this session. And I can tell you there was a lot of insights from Professor Bagakas, and a lot of also really taking the view of where we are going. And all this while, the captain sat back smiling as things were unrolling. So Professor Bagakas, karibu sana, so that you do the noble duty. You will do one now. I'll invite you for another noble duty. But for now, just brief remarks. Then you will invite the two professors that walked with us through this journey. Let us put our hands together for Professor Bagakas. Let's continue clapping until you hear him cough. Eh? When he coughs on the microphone, then you know it's okay.
Thanks, Rogers. Good morning, the KCA University family, wherever you are. Yes, good morning, the KCA University family, wherever you are, virtually or physically. We are so happy to be here. The KCA University Western Campus, you can never stop to amaze me. You know, the way you put together the programs, and it's very exciting. Thanks very much, and I want to give them a round of applause. So it's always good to be here in Kisumu. I wish I could stay here a little longer, Prof, because the air is nice, fresh, it's not warm. This is wonderful. So what I want to say, first of all, let me begin by being a very obedient student. The introductions were taking a particular form, and I want to comply. So my name is Joshua Bagaka. I'm a professor of quantitative research methods and statistics, and I do mainly my research is on hierarchical modeling, but usually applied to identifying value-adding indices of teacher and school effectiveness. That's where a lot of my publication has been, and I'm happy that one of them actually was done in 3 provinces, Nyanza, Central, and Nairobi provinces. So that is my research interest. But now another assignment at KCA University, which is an added assignment, I'm the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Research, and Innovation. Now you can see this particular unit or division we are launching falls in my docket, at least for now. At least for now, we don't know how things will be because we are in the process of organizing ourselves. So that's about myself. Now, this session, especially the one we had yesterday, was very enriching and very value-adding, and mainly because of the quality of the presenters we had. Now, if I start to say everything about what they have done, it will actually take us until noon. But I'm going to highlight the colleagues we have here. Let me begin with Professor Vincent Onywera. Professor Vincent Onywera, of course, is a professor of physical education, exercise, and sports science at KCA University. Or at Kenyatta. Did I say KCA University? Welcome, welcome aboard. You saw the smile on his face, eh? Yes. He's also the registrar. He's the registrar in charge of the research, innovation, and outreach at Kenyatta University. And you can actually see that he's the right person to be in this forum. But there's also something else. I think I will want him to say that, what makes him even more appropriate to be here. But now, colleagues, listen to this. Professor Onywera has had over 160 publications. How many of them are like that in the world? And that's not even enough. He has had over 150 million worth of shillings of grants to KCA, to KU. In fact, I'm wondering why he's still in KU, because KU doesn't need all that money. And of course, you can see this is the right person to tell us on how to do it. And if he can tell us on how to do it, and we, in the first 2 years, we are able to do half of that, I think we'll still be in very good shape. We are so happy to have you, Professor Onywera. In fact, before I finish, you know, I started thinking of consulting with him because his research, he uses the word walkability. And I said, I need to start talking to him so we can start to develop walkability models. So I can quit the hierarchical linear model and go to the walkability models. So our next guest, the guest speaker, is Professor Felix Ngetich. Professor Felix Ngetich is Associate Professor of Soil Science at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. Now, Professor Ngetich has been in the profession for a short, relatively short time, but he already has over 40 publications in the refereed journal. Now, it looks like he's on his way to hitting the 100 mark. But now listen to this one. He has attracted over 200 million shillings worth of grants in a short period. So, colleagues, as you can see, yesterday they spent a lot of time talking to us even during lunch, and we did not go to sleep. We were awake throughout, and you can see why. So we are so happy to have them, and now they are going to take us to the next level. So they can make basically their, what do they call it in the judicial system? It's crossing argument. It's final submissions. And the final submissions is those very, very precise, things to do. That's what they're going to do this afternoon, this morning, and then we'll take it from there. So, I want to turn it over to Professor Nywera so they can take us to the next level, okay? Okay, so, karibu Felix Ngetich.
Thank you everyone, and good morning. As you have heard, I'm Felix Ngetich from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. I'm relatively new there. I'm barely 3 months old, and before that I was at the University of Embu. And before University of Embu, I was at Kenyatta University. So basically, we were from the same institutions, from Professor Nywera. But we are in different fields, and I'm happy to be here. Your Vice Chancellor is also my boss on the other side, if you know the way the structures work. So it's basically also my employer, so we are all under the same employer. But I come here as one of his proteges. I was also his student at master's level, so he's also my mentor. And we've been also friends for that long, so it's a complicated relationship. So I'm happy to be part of this foundation laying for the Rio division. I know how difficult it is and how easy it can be, because I've initiated the same process elsewhere. If you go to University of Embu, the Directorate of Research, I was the founding director. Initially as a coordinator and finally as a full-fledged director. So I know the task that lies ahead of you in trying to operationalize and really make it vibrant. But my responsibility in this presentation was more on the finer details. Once you lay the infrastructure was being handled by Professor Nywera. What next? What do you want to do? How do you operationalize it? How do you write grants? You can have a very nice support system, but then that is the hardware. That's what you are setting up now, the hardware part of it. What happens with the software? And that's why I think most of my focus yesterday was about the grant writing and really to make it operational. So I think that will come next after you have the infrastructure in place. So I think you'll still need a lot of more support going forward. But your main focus right now would be more in setting up the structures, setting up the organogram, who does what, who and where do we focus, and all those other things. Once you have the division running, and you're privileged because the prominence, the research is being given in KCA, and given that you are doing it from foundation. It's not like you're trying to expand what was already there. So you have a chance to really make it very comprehensive and tailor-make it towards what you want. And my main emphasis in most of my presentations yesterday was really for us to think outside our specialization. The world outside there, the funds outside there are from multidisciplinaries. They are from all fields. It's up to you as as the actors to really tailor whatever you want to do and how to attract funds. The secret is to cut across disciplines, work with many partners, work with many collaborators, and there are so many collaborators there who are willing to work. There are also so many donors willing to share their resources for as very small expectations from your side. Most of them just want, at the end of all your things, they want an acknowledgement, a few sentences of acknowledgement, and citing the institutions, and that's all. So, but the idea is now, how do you convince them to give you their resources? So I think we had quite a lot, and we can go further in future to the finer details, because what we did was just an introductory. And I'm happy, and I think I'll leave the bulk of it to Professor Onywere, who was doing part of the setting up the infrastructure. Yeah, and I think he will take it over from here. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate your consideration for my participation in this very special phase of your research at KCA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Can we give him a better round of applause? Now it is Professor Onywere's turn, wearing many hats. And you can see, starting with his attire, you know, he told me in the morning in the office, the captain allowed me to disclose, when he was asking whether there's a dress code. And the Prof said, people should be allowed to be. You know, so so we decided to be. He's very smart. So I want us to put our hands together for Prof, so that we can get to hear the big things that we have. Professor Karibu-san.
Thank you, Director Western Campus, Roger Sabongo. I would like to start by appreciating the leadership of KCA University. So Vice Chancellor Professor Isaiah Wakindiki, who is the VC and the CEO and Chairman of Senate of KCA University, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic and Student Affairs, Professor Joshua Bagakas. I want to appreciate my colleague facilitator, Professor Felix Ngetich, with whom I've enjoyed interacting with since yesterday, the Dean of the Division of Research, Innovation and Outreach, Dr. Christine Nanjala Simiu, and your directors, Dr. Laiboni, Dr. Rotich, and the essential staff in the Rio Division, the director of the KCA University Western Campus, Rogers Abongo. I want to appreciate and greet all of you this morning. Hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Good morning. Salam alaikum. It's very nice to be here. Vice Chancellor, thank you for inviting us. Before I proceed, I have somebody who is very special in the Division of Research, Innovation and Outreach at Kenyatta University. I thought that we should also come with her, and I want to ask Violet, please, I know this is an ambush, just 30 seconds to come and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Registrar, VC, DVC, directors, Dean, and all the KCA University. It is indeed a pleasure and a humble experience to be amongst you. And I'm equally excited. I feel like we are doing this all over again. This is a very exciting space that you're getting into. And I wish you all the best. My name's Violet Tindi. I work as an administrator in the Division of Research, Innovation, and Outreach at Kenyatta University.
Thank you very much. So I am aware that we have a huge online audience. And so we want to appreciate you wherever you are around the world. Mine, as the DVC already said, is to give closing or final submissions on behalf of our facilitators. And thank you, Vice Chancellor. I'm also made to understand that my letter of appointment to KCA University is right at the door, so I will pick it from the Corporate Affairs Director, and I'm really very happy to be part and parcel of KCA University. I work at Kenyatta University. I'm a professor of exercise and sports science with keen interest in physical activity and active transportation research to try and address the challenges, the health challenges that we have been facing in the past, today, and in the future. Whether we are talking about hypertension, cancer, bone disease, heart disease. So that is my area of research interest. So we use physical activity, active transportation, or exercise to try and address these challenges. Really happy to see Ngobia here. He knows what we normally do in the field and off the field. Having finished that, the title of our final submission is Thinking Globally and Acting Locally Towards Operationalizing the Division of Research, Innovation, and Outreach at Kenyatta University. At KCA University. At KCA University. Vice Chancellor, I want to congratulate you. This is a major milestone. You have made the right decision because the KCA University anthem says we are leaders of today. We are leaders now of today. So Vice Chancellor and your management, congratulations for this major milestone. Our mission as KCA University, and I want to read it, we must always remember this, to offer high quality, integrated, and market-driven teaching, research, and extension services in a safe and supportive academic environment. That's our mission. We must always remember that as KCA University. This function we are having today, we are also operationalizing. We are putting this mission to practice. We want to integrate research and teaching, then service to the community. So congratulations and congratulations. I'm not only here as a researcher in my own right and a registrar for research, innovation, and outreach at Kenyatta University, but I also have a very humble pleasure and privilege to serve at the KCA University Council. But that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm here as a researcher and as a manager for research, innovation, and outreach at Kenyatta University. Next. So we discussed and agreed that this division is going to have very clear mandates because we don't want confusion. And the mandates that we identified include, among others, to drive the university's research and innovation agenda in line with the national aspirations, continental aspirations, and the global aspirations. That's a mandate of this new division. 2, to encourage a culture of research, innovation, and outreach at KCA University. We have a very good culture of teaching, but we don't want KCA University to be a teaching university. We want it to be a university that lives true to the core mandate of an international and global university, which is teaching, research, and service to the community. We want to see our colleagues, faculty members and students talking about their areas of research interest as we move forward. 3, we want to institutionalize networking, partnerships, and collaborations with industry, with other institutions of research locally, in the continent, and internationally. Because as KCA University, we believe that you have to act locally, do research locally, while also thinking globally, so that we can be able to sit on the table of the international academies. Next, we have agreed that we need to encourage innovation and also handle issues to do with intellectual property rights. And that's why our directors are here, Dr. Rotich in his directorate, and Dr. Laibon in his directorate. Because there has to be a difference. No, we must make KCA different. It cannot be the same. And especially with the commitment of the Vice Chancellor and the management and the council. We want KCA to be the main story. We are also saying that we want to ensure that we disseminate information to the community, to the people who need it most, including in the newspapers and on the social media. So I'll be watching very keenly. We want to start hearing stories in the newspapers, scientific writing. Next. I'm going to rush very quickly. We have agreed about this, and the Dean has talked very well, that we need to come up with policies, because what gets measured gets done. So we need policies, and as these policies are being developed, all the stakeholders will be involved, from the students, faculty, and non-faculty, Senate, then the university management, then the council, so that everybody, we get the buy-in of everybody as we move forward. We have already talked about this. There's going to be need for stakeholder mapping, so that you can know who are the people that you can work with to drive the agenda of the division. This is very important to me. With this, Vice Chancellor, with this new division, I have no doubt in my mind that the ranking of KCA University is going to go up. Because with this new division, putting effort and commitment and focus in research, innovation, and outreach, we'll be able to see the amount of research grants coming to the university going up. We'll start seeing research products and recognitions. We'll start seeing papers in peer-reviewed and refereed journals coming out of KCA University. We'll start seeing publications, books, patents, in a bid to flatten the valley of death. Madam Dean and your team, you have a very exciting opportunity to make history. You have a very exciting opportunity to establish a legacy, because you have very good support from the Vice Chancellor, the CEO, and other stakeholders. So we are going to look upon you to ensure that we work hard. Next, the next slide is about the ranking, Vice Chancellor. And you see, KCA, among the private universities, is number 21. And I think this has been by God's grace. Rogers will tell you this position, by God's grace. I have taken time to study KCA from 1989, to look at KCA. And I have no doubt in my mind that with this new division, we have to move up. No. 21 is not our place. Position 21 in webometric ranking among private universities is not our space. Because we have been there by God's grace. I can tell you, and I have evidence. I'm a researcher. I can show you the trends. So now, we have been position 21 among private. I want us to work hard so that we can be in the top 5, not in private, all universities, public and private combined. I'm sure with this team in place and the support of the faculty and students, we are going to move up. Next. I think this should be my last. So, Vice Chancellor, I just thought in the morning, we were discussing, as take-home assignment, can we start thinking, this is just a proposal, the management will decide, to have the first ever KCA University multidisciplinary research and innovation conference sometime next year, maybe June or whatever date you agree, 2022. Venue, KCA University main campus at Ruaraka. We will bring players. We have the field there. We want people to come and have exhibition in that field. We want people from the industry to come. Western campus to bring, participants. Kitengela campus to bring participants. Monrovia campus bring participants. And we bring other stakeholders. And we raise money. And we start the journey. We must do it. This one, we must do it. I know the Vice Chancellor is very keen on this. So, Madam Dean, this was just something I was proposing. We were thinking about it. Because I like to be as practical as possible. So this is something that, and Vice Chancellor, I put some placeholder organizations here. I don't want to be accused. I have to disclose that. I did not have the permission of the placeholders down here. But I was just thinking aloud that if we organize this, ISPAC is the sponsor. And I can see ISPAC coming in very strongly to support this conference in several ways. And maybe they can be the title sponsor. Our cooperative bank can come in. This logo should have been on the right, so forgive me. Kenyatta University, you can be sure that Kenyatta University will be there with the permission of my Vice Chancellor. And I'm saying that with this conference, and we have time to organize for it, National Research Fund, they normally give money for conferences. NACOSTI give money and other logistical support. They can give money for training, where you can have a pre-conference workshop to train faculty and staff on various aspects of research, innovation, and outreach. NACOSTI. Kenya National Innovation Agency. So, the fact that KCA University gets students from the government, from COOPs, ideally removes that tag of private university from you. Yeah, you get students from COOPs. So, it's a hybrid. KCA is a hybrid university, very rich university. I am quite excited. Let me thank you as I finish. Thank you, Vice Chancellor, and also to thank the entertainment team. I saw KCA has a lot of talent, as the VC was saying. Maybe some of the people, if you are a professor of exercise and you have talent in something else outside your realm, maybe we should see how to readjust. So, Roger Sabongo, the entertainment team was fantastic. It was great, and we thank you very much. And I really look forward to the next steps in this exciting journey. Thank you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Prof, for such a wonderful closing submission. And colleagues, I want us to appreciate the two professors who have been with us and have done a fantastic job. We appreciate them in a very, very special way. And what we will do, we want to give them flowers, the KCA way. Let us give them flowers. We want to mold these flowers. So let's mold. When you want to give flowers, You mold, and by the way, Prof, we are giving you, the two professors, flowers because in between you was a lady. So you know, ladies attract flowers. So Violet, you know, courtesy of you. So let's mold the flowers. Let's mold the flowers. Yes, the Professor Bagaka's way. You can see how Professor Bagakas know how to mold flowers. Huh? Let's mold the flowers nicely, mold the flowers. Let's start with Professor Ngetich. Let's give him flowers. Thank you. Prof, you receive the flowers. Huh? Professor Ngetich, you receive them. Let's give him one more time. Let's mold the flowers, mold the flowers. Give Professor Ngetich. Thank you. Now let's mold for Professor Onywera. Let's mold the flowers. Mold the flowers. Let's give Professor Onywera. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. The take home. As we do the take home, we need, I want Dr. Rotich, please just step forward. Please, Dr. Rotich. One more round. Let's mold the flowers. Huh? And Rotich, please just move closer to Violet. So let's mold the flowers. Let's mold the flowers for Violet. Let's mold the flowers for Violet. Let's give Violet the flowers. Thank you, thank you. And you can see Dr. Rotich knows how to really surrender the flowers. Huh? Thank you very much. Now, the take home, flattening the valley of death. Now, if you forget anything else, please, that one you must never forget. Flattening the valley of death. Without much ado, I want to invite the DVC just to give us an intro of his boss. And then you allow me to do him a dedication before he stands to speak. Karibu sana, Prof.
Thanks, Rogers, again. It's usually hard to introduce your boss, but I don't find it hard for my boss. Professor Isaiah Wakindiki. Now, there are several things we can say about Professor Wakindiki, but there are two which are very significant to me. He always cites from the book of Isaiah. I think he keeps citing that until I asked him, who gave you the name Isaiah? The second one, with permission, Prof, he comes from the family of Kindiki family. Of course, you know the famous Kindiki family, the family of professors, but for him it's Wakindiki. Now, have you had anybody also having that same possession kind of thing? Like something with the apostrophe S?
Bagakas.
Exactly. So you find like that's where we converge. That's nice. But Professor Wakindiki is a professor of soil science. And he's been a professor, a person in academia for close to 30 years. Now, I'm sure in the KCA family, a very good percentage of us have not reached 30 years yet. So he's been in the profession for those many years. 19 of those about 30 years were spent in senior university management in various places. Kenya, South Africa, sometimes in Australia. And talk about people doing benchmarking. He has benchmarked in South Africa, in Europe, in Australia. All those benchmarking findings are going to be where? In KCA University. For me, that is significant. So now, one other thing which is actually significant is the fact that despite the fact that he has spent 19 years in senior university management, he has still found time to do things which are academic. And he has written and published over 82 journal articles and books. In fact, there's a new concept which came up yesterday that he has supervised 42, mentored and supervised 42 scholars, of which one of them is Professor Ngetich. Now let's move to Professor Ngetich. Professor Ngetich has supervised and mentored 8 PhD and 20 masters. Those qualify to be Professor Wakindiki's what? Grandchildren. So I just want to find out, Professor Ngetich, when are you planning to have a meeting of your children with the grand? Please let me know. I want to attend that function. But Professor Wakindiki has not stopped there. Now, they're looking at his CV, and they found out that he has had 49 funded projects. Now, those 49 funded projects includes one for 7,000 euros for Egerton University alone. Now, I try to translate based on the exchange rate, current exchange rate, the 700,000 euros translates to very close to 90 million Kenya shillings. So now, Professor Wakindiki is now the third Vice Chancellor and the CEO for KCA University. Okay? And you can actually see that KCA is going places, isn't it? So I actually want, I just wanted to welcome him to say something or to speak, but I think Rogers has something to say before we do.
Thank you. Prof, you'll remain standing where you are because you have said it's a promise. Prof Bagakas, just stand where you are. And there's a dedication that we have for the captain. And this entertaining team have a song entitled Singo in the local language. Singo, the promise. Now that's the title of the song because the deputy captain has actually outlined the promise. Without much ado, we want to invite this wonderful team to dedicate a song. And I want the two directors, Dr. Rotich, Dr. Laibon, you will have to accompany the captain plus your dean because this promise is about Rio, together with the DVC who is here. Dr. Rotich, please somebody block him from the door. You have to come back. You can't run away from your core obligations. Otherwise, we will ask you tough questions. So anyway, without much ado, I want to invite this team for a dedication. hawajachoka. Unajua hawa ni vijana barubaru, so usijali. Yeah, so I think Prof. Bagakas, the noble final duty.
So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I now want to welcome Professor Wakiliki to give his remarks and speech.
Until he begins to make his address.
Thank you so much, Rogers. Let's get seated, colleagues. So, our guests who have joined us this morning, Professor Vincent Onywera, Professor Felix Ngetich, and the entire KCA University, both physical and virtual, in the new normal. I want to greet you this morning. Good morning. We are gathered here for a very special occasion, and that is to launch the Division of Research, Innovation, and Outreach at the KCA University. It is sometimes very difficult when somebody has several hats to leave one behind and carry the other. Professor Onywera challenged us to have the first Research and Innovation Conference, and at one moment I had difficulties to know in what capacity is even suggesting the date, because he chairs the academic committee of council. So it might be an order put in very soft terms. It's a directive being conveyed in very friendly terms, which might have consequences if it is not actualized. But in today's capacity, he declared that he is not here in that capacity where he can order me. He is here as an invited scholar in his own right, an administrator of research in the Republic of Kenya, and it is from that podium that he addressed us. And I quickly thought we will retreat with my team and come up with an appropriate date. The concept, Professor Onywera, is accepted, and our colleague, Professor Ngetich. God granting us life next year, at a time like now, there shall be a conference. He has even suggested some of the sponsors. And because it is him who has suggested, the task is easy, is to ask him for those addresses and to introduce us to those sponsors, and the rest of the business is easy. So what we are saying is it might be suitable to have it in September to keep commemorating this inauguration. So we'll review 1 year from now as we celebrate our anniversary. It can be in form of a conference. So we will kindly request that we move it to September or thereabout instead of June. Otherwise, colleagues, the KCA family, and friends who have joined us, I always like tracing my footsteps in form of history, because they tell us if we have no history, then even our present is shaky and our future is uncertain. What we are calling KCA University today was an inspiration that was born in 1989, an inspiration of the Institute for Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, who in their dreams and visions, because they were all young and old men and women, they had dreamt of a university, they had a vision of a university, but they established the then Kenya College of Accountancy in 1989. And in this college, the first enrollment were 170 students. If you compare that today, by the close of the year, we should be something like 17,000. So we can say it has multiplied 100 times. What a milestone. From 170 to 17,000 is such a milestone in terms of student population. Another significant step happened between the year 97 and 2000, when the college then teamed up in terms of collaboration with the University of South Africa and also Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Juja, and they mounted some diploma programs. It is on that platform that 10 years later, in 2007, KCA University was established or authorized legally to operate through what is the legal instrument that is the interim letter of authority. And it took 6 years to go through this rigorous evaluation by the then Commission for Higher Education, which today is the Commission for University Education. And on 1st March 2013, the Commission was satisfied that KCA University can operate as a fully fledged university, and based on their advice, the head of state, who was sitting in State House at that time, signed a charter establishing the KCA University. As a university, our mandate was, as said before, to teach at the university level or to train at the university level, to do research at the university level, and outreach or community services or community engagement at that level. For close to 14 years, we have concentrated on the aspect of teaching. And on the 13th day of August, 2021, the University Council of KCA passed a resolution that there shall be a division known as Research, Innovation, and Outreach, headed by a Deputy Vice Chancellor. And the process has just begun. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are assembled here on this 10th day of September 2021 to witness this historic moment when we declare to the rest of the Republic, to the rest of the global academic community, that we are not children of a lesser God. We are a university operating comprehensively. The initiation of this laudable gesture cannot be more timely than now, looking at the multifaceted nature of academia. So this becomes a wake-up call that requires best mechanisms to harmonize the activities of teaching the activities of research, the activities of innovations, and amiable relations with our varied stakeholders to ensure quality service delivery at all times. It is in this regard that the Division of Research, Innovation, and Outreach, which we are commonly referring to as RIO, is being launched today. This division of the university has an enormous responsibility to coordinate research, to coordinate innovations and outreach activities to strengthen the outputs of our dear university. Through this opportunity, we will explore the overarching themes that provide opportunities for Africa to overcome its obstacles and spur inclusive growth. And the fourth industrial revolution, the Sustainable Development Goals, the Agenda 2063, the Vision 2030 of the Government of Kenya, and the Big Four Agenda. Not forgetting our 2019-2023 KCA University Strategic Plan. These and many others are going to be the key driving forces behind the RIO's vision, mission, and core values. The division will particularly focus on building a research culture and a research capacity within the KCA University academic community and beyond. This is the culture that will spur research and innovative products and services that solve real community problems in Kenya and the region, across the world, and contribute towards the achievement of the agendas set above in the various documents I've referred to. While on this, the Deputy Vice Chancellor has said that I like quoting the Bible. But you see, the Bible is such a resourceful book that even for criminals, they can find inspiration there. Even for the lazy ones, they get inspiration there. It's such a balanced diet for all of us. And therefore, I found it very useful in my life. And one concept that it teaches, if you are born again, they say, start with yourself, your family, your village, and then go to the rest of the world. So, the challenge we have for this division of Rio, it came to light yesterday that where we are situated, our main campus in Ruaraka, our immediate neighborhood is one of the largest slums in the Republic of Kenya. It's called Mathare Area 4. What an opportunity to prove our presence at the university level in terms of research, innovation, and outreach. If it cannot change the Area 4, then we have a long way to go. So before we go to look for other people very far, we start at Mathare Area 4, our immediate neighborhood. And that is according to biblical principles. If you cannot influence the livelihoods at Mathare Area 4, then it might be difficult to even please God, who you even don't see. At least the slum, we can see it. The Rio Division will achieve this through 3 inaugural directorates. Today we are talking about 2. That is the Directorate of Research Support and Dissemination and the Directorate of Innovation, Incubation and Linkages. We will also bring to the fold the Directorate of Institutional Research to operate under Rio as the 3rd directorate. And these will form the founding directorates of our division. We believe this will encourage our students, our alumni, academic staff to engage in result-oriented research activities in their various areas of specialization, especially those in line with the university's priorities and that are relevant to the needs of the immediate community, as I've just illustrated, and the rest of the world. Today we have a challenge, for example, of corona. It is so close to us, not us, but you as an individual and me as an individual. What is KCA University doing about it? This is the challenge of our nascent division of Rio. In doing all this, the division will help the university to position itself as a center of academic research and innovation excellence that is focused by our motto, advancing knowledge and driving change. We sang in our KCA University anthem that we are on the road to success. I think it's time we think of revising the anthem and say we are on the road, on the success road. Success is not far away. Success is where we are stepping today. So we are not going to meet success somewhere hidden. We are traveling successfully to the destination of knowledge, wherever it takes us. With those remarks, I want to say that thank you so much for listening to me, and I now want to rest so that we can continue with the rest of the program, the next step in declaring this division officially launched.
Thank you very much, Captain. Thank you very much. We really appreciate. And I want us all to be upstanding because for the captain, here you cannot live without us inviting for you the reins. We have to, the people we love, our leaders we cherish, we have to invite the reins. That is the norm. And we want to do it in a very, very vigorous way. We know we had declared the flowers were for Professor Onywera and Professor Ngetich, right? So for the reins are going to our captain. So if I say invite the reins, the right hand, you do the invite. Then if I say a second time, you do both hands. And then what happens when it's about to rain? There's a process to everything. So the trees begin to sway. The trees will sway. After the trees swaying, thunderstorm. Stop your feet, thunderstorm, thunderstorm. Then after thunderstorm, manyunyu, manyunyu. 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4, 5. Are we together? Okay, let's go. One more time. Invite the rains, invite the rains.
Thank you very much. We will remain standing because now the hour has come. I know Prof has declared, but you are going to do the ultimate declaration. And before that is done, this team has been doing a lot of jigs up here. And we want now this to be done in a very, very good way. So we are inviting our team of entertainment who are actually going to present an item. And this one, I want to ask Councillor Nyangidi and Dr. Owino. This time round, you're the ones going to bring the boss from his seat. Huh? So you have that obligation. The moment the jig begins, you have a mandate to bring the boss to the floor. And the high table, Professor Ngetich, you will forgive me. Now this is, you see when you have this microphone, this is the only opportunity you have to direct the bosses, right? This is the only, otherwise in other environments you can be fired. So I will request that we all be on the floor. So the team, please, this is a very, very clear dedication that now to the KCA University family and celebrating the Rio division. Over to you, entertainment. Yeah, so they'll be dancing. They'll be doing a dance. And when they are ready for you, Prof, they will signal. Then Nyangidi and Dr. Owino should be on the lookout. They come for us, say that with him. Over to you guys. Violet. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. So it is at this point that we want to do a quick exercise. And in a short while, I know today a lot of exercise has been done. The professors actually, I think it's interesting that the professors look better than the rest of us. Huh? In this, they have a lot of talent here. And Tom? So it is at this point we request the captain now to declare the official launch of Rio. And once he makes the declaration, we expect a lot of hululations all over, so that as KCA University family, we celebrate this new division.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies. And may it be known with the powers vested upon me by the University Council and all our charter and statutes, I now want to declare as the Vice Chancellor KCA University the official launch of a new division to be called the Research, Innovation, and Outreach Division of KCA University. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now Rio is officially launched, and it goes down the history that it has been launched at Western Campus. Prof, karibu sana. Now after the launch, you know, once the father launches, then he needs to feed his people. So Prof, step over together. The three professors just step forward. And you know, Dr. Rotich knows how to feed. Eh? Dr. Nanjala, move closer. Dr. Rotich is the only gentleman I've met who knows how to feed. Otherwise, feeding has always been left for ladies. Eh? Yeah, thank you. And we have Esther Kimani and Nancy Okumbe, who have been very dedicated, very motherly, very caring. I want to ask our corporate affairs manager to move here, to move closer. Zedi, please join us here because, you know, this is the KCA University brand. Now, Prof, we will ask you to step forward. We want you to be surrounded by ladies. Zedi, just move closer. Dr. Nanjala, move closer. And then Professor Onyuera, hold the knife now. Don't worry, we will sanitize. Now you can jointly hold it. Zedi, don't fear the boss. This is the only environment you are given a lot of liberty. Eh? Yeah, thank you. Okay. Now we will do them a small singing. Kata, 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 kata keki kata, kata keki kata, kata keki sio ugali, kata keki sio ugali, kata keki kata, kata keki kata, kata keki sio ugali. Kata keki sio ugali, kata keki sio ugali, kata keki, kata keki, kata keki sio ugali, kata keki sio ugali, kata keki sio ugali, kata keki, kata keki. Kata keki sio ugali, leta keki tukule sasa. Leta keki tukule sasa. Leta keki, leta keki, leta keki tukule sasa. Now it's feeding time. The first one, yes, Zedi. I think Zedi is ushering that the VC needs to feed Professor Onyuera first. Yes. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. Zedi knows the protocol. So please, Prof. Onyuera, move closer. Now there we allow Zedi to do her work. Yeah, okay. And you know the VC now is feeding his boss. Yes. Now the cameraman, I hope you are picking this. Okay. There we go. The camera is here. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now the VC will also feed Professor Ngetich. Professor Ngetich, please step forward. Professor Ngetich, you know this is your mentor. So sometimes you don't argue with your mentor. You know that's the golden rule. Whatever he gives you, if you trusted all he ever gave you, you need to continue trusting. Okay, there we go. Let's give them a round of applause. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we request the Professor Nyura now to feed the boss. Now, but before Professor Nyura feeds the boss, Prof. Wakindiki, you know, this is the time the captain can feed his deputy. It's rare opportunities. Prof. Bagakas, I don't know where else you are going to find this happening. So, Prof. Bagakas, please just move forward. Now, this is a very big one. Yeah, Prof, I wish you could choose the biggest. But it's okay. Now, okay, there you go. Kula keki Bagakas kula. Kula keki Bagakas kula. Kula keki. Kula keki. Kula keki Bagakas kula. Now, we want the Dean Rio. Prof, you need to feed the Dean Rio before you are fed. You know you are the father. So, Dean Rio, please come. Dean Rio, please very fast. And followed by your two directors. This thing, Dr. Rotich, it doesn't happen every day. You know, so this is very significant. An opportunity of a lifetime. Okay? Take a serviette. Kindly move to the... okay, move side. Okay, fine. Let's go. Kula keki simiyu kula. Kula keki simiyu kula. Kula keki. Thank you very much. Now, the very, very young Don here, director. Yeah, the young Don here. It's your turn, Bwana Director, to be fed by the captain. Okay? Yeah, captain is looking for a big one, eh? Yeah. Laibon. Okay, there you go. Kula keki laibon kula. Kula keki laibon kula. Next, Dr. Rotich. Please, Dr. Rotich. Director Rotich is being fed now. There you go. There you go. Dr. Rotich, please. Let's give him a round of applause. Wonderful, wonderful. Dr. Owino, Dr. Nyangidi, please, the last people you are feeding, Captain. Okay. Dr. Owino, there you go. Let's give a round of applause. Okay, wonderful. Nyangidi, the final one. Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. Professor Onyuera, now it is your turn to feed the boss, the captain. So, yeah, help. And wonderful. As that is happening, I'll want Violet to come now. So, Prof. Wakindiki, you'll be fed by two people. So, whether they are big, you will have to comply. So, Violet, come. Violet, you have to feed the captain. And after his boss has fed him, then now you can also do the feeding. Kula keki Isaiah kula. Kula keki Isaiah kula. Kula keki. Kula keki. Kula keki Captain Kula. Thank you. Now Violet is feeding the captain. Okay. There you go. Then I want Prof. Bagakas to move closer with Zeddy. As we round up this, let's give a round of applause. Captain, let Captain also feed Violet. Violet, please. Violet, you can't come next to Captain and you're not fed. Eh? So let's have one. Okay, Violet. Okay, let's give a round of applause. Let's give a round of applause to Violet. Thank you very much. Now, Zeddy, Prof. Bagakas, we want you to feed Zeddy. Yes, come Zeddy, Zeddy, come. Yeah, now we... Okay, let's give them a round of applause. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Now, do I deserve to be fed? Who do you want to feed me? Who do you want to feed me? Zeddy, now come and... The masses have decided. Eh? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We can take our seats. Yeah, so the rest, everybody is going to be fed. So let us take our seats. Anne, you can join to help Nancy and Esther so that we do the feeding. Yeah, thank you. Let's take our seats. So, Captain, we are now coming to the tail end of this program. Thank you. So, in this exercise of monology, or swallowship. You can call it either monology or swallowship. We will do it silently, quietly, without disrupting your neighbor. Okay? So once you get your share. So we want to now appreciate our guests, the two professors who have been with us. And I want to ask Nyakundi and your team, please just bring something that Rio team had organized. I want to ask Dean Rio, please come. Captain, we want you to gift Professor Ngetich. We are having a surprise for these guys. And so Professor Ngetich, you will be able to remember this day. So this one, Captain, just move here, kindly. now as we do this small adjustment, then so we want the captain, supported by the dean, deputy captain, come. Be to the right of the captain. You are the right-hand man. So you will give this the captain to hand over. So that's a gift from Rio team. Professor Ngetich, move closer. Give it to the captain. So captain, kindly hand over. And Professor Ngetich, this is the sign of love from KCA University family. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. And because of declaration, we don't want professor to be accused of anything, that maybe you are carrying gold from KCA. So kindly pull it out and show us what it is. Wow, can you put it round? And I want him to read the engravement. Kindly read what is engraved.
It's Professor Felix Ngatich, our partner in Rio. Professor Felix Ngatich, our partner in Rio.
Professor Ngetich, our partner in Rio. That is how it is branded. Let's give him a round of applause. So put it on your desk. Anytime, any day visitors come, they will be able to see, so that you remember it. Next, let's have one for Professor Vincent Onywera. As Professor Ngetich is our partner in Rio, I don't know what this team decided to do with Professor Onywera. So kindly, Bwana Captain, hand over this to Professor Onywera. Let's give a round of applause. Let's celebrate this one. A round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Professor Onywera, again, declaration of interest. Just check what is it that we are giving you so that we don't stand accused in any public gathering. Wow, thank you. That's a gift. And I want Professor Onywera to read what is engraved in it.
West KCA University, Professor Vincent Onywera, our inspiration in research, innovation, and outreach.
Thank you. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you very, very much. Finally, Prof. Onywera, you can put your gift aside. We want now Prof. Onywera to hand over a gift that now the campus is giving to Rio Division to commemorate the launch, and the captain will receive this gift on behalf of the entire team. Let's give a round of applause, please. Let's give a round of applause. Oh, people are in the monology department. Huh? Thank you. Thank you very much. VC, you can unwrap it so that we are able to see what has been given to Rio. And this one, Bwana Vice Chancellor, you will decide where it will reside, but we strongly suggest that it can be in the Dean's office so that he can remember every moment. It's a clock, a wonderful clock. We have a branding that is going to be on it in a short while, but this is the clock that has been issued to the Rio Division. Let's put our hands together. Thank you very much. With that, you can hand it over to the Dean. Thank you. We can now take our seats. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long time, and we are actually right on time. We'll allow the captain, our guests, to take a seat. And we will do one last exercise. And this I will request, before I invite our corporate affairs manager to pass a vote of thanks to our viewers who have been watching. We thank you really so much for following. And I wanted us to have a very quick photo, one that the Rio team will remember. So, Captain, sorry, I hope you won't get tired. Just for a quick photo here with the Rio team, with the professors. The directors, Rio, please come, so that this is one that you are going to frame and put in your division to remember for posterity. Please, let's join them for a brief photo session. Ngobia, DVC. Professor Ngetich, come on this side. Dr. Rotich, come to this end. Nyangidi and Dr. Owino, please. I hope it's not too long. Violet. I think Violet may remain here because I keep assuming she's one of us here. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now closing. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this point invite our corporate affairs manager, a very able lady, Zedi Sambu, who is keen to details. And for avoidance of doubt, this live streaming is something that as in the university, she has put together with the support of Ngobia and the College of Education. And we really appreciate this wonderful lady. So Zedi Sambu, kindly come and pass a vote of thanks. Let's put our hands together for Zedi.
Thank you, Rogers. Colleagues, all protocols observed. Good morning. So as you heard, my name is Zedi Sambu. I am from the main campus team. So first of all is to thank the Almighty God for enabling this day. Indeed, it's a milestone achievement for KCA. You know, I've been in KCA for only 4 months. And when I came around and I was told that the research wing of KCA is not yet operationalized, so to speak, I kept asking myself, so what is the difference between what is done in KCA and what we did in high school or the lower levels of education, you know? And then not too long after that, our VC reminded us that if we are teaching in the university what we are not researching about, then there is a problem. So I'm delighted that today's achievement is actually a milestone in itself. So we want to thank you, Prof. You know, again, I would say that I joined KCA soon after Prof had also just come on board, and it is exciting to be part of this memorable moment. Of course, KCA is known for several firsts. Yeah, we are known as a premier university for business and technology. Now, we are taking it a notch higher. Professor Onywera, thank you very much. I think we are privileged to have you on our council and also as our guest VC today. Same for Professor Felix Kosgei. Our VC is a friend of both KU and also JOST. So we look forward to deepening the partnership that we have just started today. Thank you, DVC, Academic Affairs. I think you've been very instrumental in also delivering today's function. The RIO team, led by the Dean, Acting Dean, and the two directors, we want to thank you. We know it's not a mean effort, today's achievement, so we would like to pass our regards for your effort thus far. Our host team, thank you, the Kisumu campus colleagues. We know it was not easy. A lot of us at the main campus said that maybe we would have taken more time so that we really have the party. But you know what we've witnessed today. Kudos to you, keep it up. And we will support you, I mean, from a corporate perspective and also what Professor Onywera challenged us before. You know, we need the profile of KCA to go higher. There are a lot of things in KCA, good things that we do, but they are not being told. So, Prof, I take that as my personal challenge because the issue of the image and brand for KCA lies within my docket. So I take it as a challenge, and the next time when we will have the conference, I think there will be a big difference. Finally, but not least, is to thank the organizing team. Again, we do not want to, we take notice, we take cognizance of what you've done in putting this together. Keep it going. This is where we want KCA to be. You know, KCA, as our VC keeps telling us all the time, KCA from now needs to go to the next level. The next level, of course, crowned by today's event, is to make KCA the
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for Zedi one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain, we have come to the tail end of this program. And indeed, thank you very much. So we want to do a final one. And our very able dancers, we want a short and sweet dance that we will remember and in a manner that our camera crew can also be able to take a good snapshot that will go into the Rio website with our professors here. But before we do that, and let it be a very nice one, but not very long, and as the team exits, you will continue. And I want to urge my colleagues now, mjiachilie, you know, you've been sitting down and I know why. Mjiachilie, please have fun as the team will be leaving. We are going to pray shortly, then we do the final dance, and then the procession will leave as the dancers continue with entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. I know it's always the nature of the program directors or masters of ceremonies always to be forgotten in all aspects, and we have accepted and learned the art of appreciating ourselves. Can we give the MC a round of appreciation? And in another life, I would say it has been business doing pleasure with you. Thank you very much and God bless you. With that, I want to ask the entertainment team and our guests, Captain, you will join us here for a rigorous one. We will want a very... Now, shall we all rise up for a word of prayer? Yeah, we will pray, and once the dance starts, when you see the captain leaving and his team, the rest will remain, and you continue with the obvious. Allow me to invite Anne Inyangala to close it for us with a word of prayer. Karibu, Anne.
Thank you. Let's bow down and pray. Our Father in heaven, I thank you for this afternoon. I thank you for this event. As everyone goes back to their destinations, bless each and every one of us. And those who remain, Father, bless them. In Jesus' name, I believe and pray.
Thank you very much. With that, we want to invite the captain and the team, please. Camera crew, be ready. Camera crew, directors, Rio team, please.